and sit down.
Hello and welcome. Good evening, everybody. Hopefully we have everything going well. I'm a little bit freaked out at the moment, I must admit, because StreamYard is saying that it's streaming, but over here, YouTube is not telling me that it's streaming yet.
I can see it. It's live.
It's live. It's happening. Hooray. Okay. That's just me. Fantastic. Good evening and welcome to another episode of Build Paint Play. You know there's Build Paint Play because we haven't got the technical stuff right yet.
We are consistent.
It's only been almost 60 episodes, but we'll get there. Consistency is great. I'm Dave.
Greetings, programs. I'm Jake, and we are joined by Mr. Jeff Smith, who's above me, and we have John over here to the right of me. You may recognize these two handsome devils from the last episode of Four Warlords that we had.
Yep. Possibly. I think I certainly recognize them. I do. Mm-hmm. I have seen them before in this screen. But fantastic. It is awesome to see you guys. Welcome. Thank you back for coming back and talking to us this evening about how your armies are progressing. Excited to see how it's going. Looking at the chat, we've got Jez is here. Hey, Jez. Hope you're doing well. Scott is here. Joe is here. And of course, pre-stream, Joe, Scott, and Jez had a bit of a conversation. Scott says that he's going to finish up a Blood Bowl dude tonight. Very cool. Of course, we got Matt Bowles is here. And excellent. Okay, cool. I think I'm going to switch to a thing over here so I can see the chat, maybe? I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on.
I'm not going to mess with anything. It wants me to sign into my YouTube account so I can do the chats, and I was like, I just won't do that.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a good idea. Awesome. Hang on.
Let's go.
So there we go. Scott says, hey, you ready for the show? If it doesn't start soon, because I have to issue refunds. Just says sounding grand. I hope that sounds is the sound of us. Matt says we're streaming on his TV, but not on his phone. Joe says he hasn't started streaming for him. Is that all stuff that we've missed? Or are we going now? Okay, I'm going to take Josh's word for it. We are live. Fantastic. Okay. Cool. Awesome. We also have Hi Carl Ray in the chat saying, first time I've noticed Jeff wear a shirt that wasn't Botan.
I do have other shirts, yes. But they're all Space Wolf, so.
All right. Awesome. Very cool. Okay. Okay. Streaming through a Fire Stick, but not on his phone either.
It looks like we're good. Well, Matt said we're now live on the YouTube app, so it should be good.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. Man, so annoying.
We're doing it live.
Fantastic. Thank you for listening to my prattle about technical issues. But let's jump into talking about how things are going, what we've been up to. Should we have Jake regale us with tales of the store first? No, we'll save that for later.
No. It's nothing new. Like if everybody watched last week's episode, it's the same. We're just kind of settling in. Foot traffic's been way better, which is kind of nice. But it is what it is. We're just until the basement gets finished, we can't really move stuff around to like make more space. So
okay. Cool.
But
otherwise, it's been okay. John, you said you've had a hell of a week.
I have. Yeah, it's kind of the end of the year when we're trying to get a bunch of stuff finished to send off to the factory, and it has just been like a mad dash to try to address existing stuff and new things. It's probably the busiest time of the year right now is like right before the holidays because everybody's trying to cram a bunch of stuff right before everybody's on vacation. So
you're like 4 weeks worth of work into 2.
Yeah, that's what it feels like for sure. But it's finally like resolving itself, and I'm like really excited to like just dedicate free time to hobby stuff again. That sounds awesome.
Right.
Anything cool you can tell us about?
So we just announced the Star Trek Into the Unknown game. So that's like a tabletop miniatures game with pre-painted ships. Everything's in scale to one, everything else. And it has like diplomacy and exploration as well as spaceship combat in it. So it's it's really cool, really ambitious game. I worked with a couple of people that I worked with back at Fantasy Flight that worked on Star Wars Armada and some other spaceship games. So some old veterans in that kind of arena. So yeah, we were finishing up getting files off to the factory for that and the expansion stuff for it as well. So so that's coming up. And then in the new year, I'll be starting a new game, which I can't talk about yet, but I'm really, really excited about it. It should be awesome.
Excellent.
I still have all the rules for the old FASA Star Trek game.
Oh yeah, cool.
That game was great. Like I still have all the ship guides. Like they're so good.
Yeah, very cool. Like super involved. Like lots of stuff in there. So
there were a bunch of guys at my store today playing Armada.
What's that? I'm sorry.
There were a bunch of guys at my store today playing Armada.
Oh, right on. That's cool. That's good. That's a fun game. I love that game. It's very cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to see AMG do some more stuff with it. That'd be cool.
Excellent. When we were at PAX, you were saying that when you were running some demos there, so that a bunch of the folks were quite surprised at how crunchy the game was.
Yeah, it's got a lot in it. It's very ambitious, and there's like kind of a campaign system baked into it, and there's mechanics for cloaking your ships and like hailing the enemy and trying to like resolve each scenario via diplomacy. And because there's so many different ways you can go and the branching paths and stuff, there's a lot of rules that correspond with it. So it's pretty involved, pretty crunchy game for sure.
Right.
Is it PvP or is it PvE?
PvP. Yeah, it's player versus player, and then there's like environment things that kind of run around as well. But it's primarily a versus game. With a lot of campaign mechanics and stuff built in, so a lot of cause and effect, all that sort of thing.
Cool thing. Excellent.
Oh, Scott just posted, talk more about that game. Ascendancy didn't work well. That's too bad. Star Trek Ascendancy is a great game. It is a fantastic board game.
Yeah, that is very cool.
I started using the Zaki's rules, Starfleet battles, before Task Force and FASA ever did anything, which are just ancient. So
the weirdest thing about the Ascendancy game is that you have to have 3 players or more. Like you can't play 2 players. It has to be at least 3.
I see.
But
you did well. I feel like in a lot of those games, 3 players really makes it spicy. It's not just me counteracting you or responding to one player. You got this other person in the mix that's like throwing wrenches in everybody's plans. So yeah, I can see how it's built around that.
No, I was going to say I saw a great meme this week with had Picard with Troy next to him, and it was that basically it was a great power move by the Federation to have the captain's therapist in the seat next to him. So when he's on screen,
never really thought about that, but yeah, that's a good point.
Hailing the enemy. You see that he was ready to like fully shit at any time.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk this down a little bit.
I'm down, Picard.
It's okay. I know he blew up that planet, but
funny. How about you, Jeff? What have you been up to?
No, going good. I'm back at Battlefront 3 days a week. We actually spent the day preparing to ship next month the 10th anniversary edition of Firefly.
Okay, cool.
The big box edition. We're getting all that sorted out.
Speaking of spaceships,
yeah, and then of course we're doing a lot of Star Trek away missions. So, yeah.
Okay.
Then painting the rest of the week. I'm there Monday through Wednesday, and then doing commission stuff Thursday through Sunday. So.
Nice.
Pretty busy.
That's good. Very cool. Has anybody had a chance to get any games in since last we met?
No. I've been playing some solo Marvel United. Other than that, no.
Excellent. Jake, you managed to get back into the net?
Yeah. So like technically I got to play games. I got to play hockey 3 or 4 times since then. I've been playing at least once a week. The week of the move, I didn't play for 2 weeks. The week before and the week of the move, I didn't play at all because we were busy packing, and I was like, I just don't have time. Like I'm gonna end up getting to the game late, or I'm gonna be exhausted the next day. But since then, I've been back. I've been playing like at least once a week. Last week I got in 2 games, but
cool. Just throwing it in. Sorry. There we go. Oh. John was just
nailed it.
Me too.
Nailed it.
Can you in YouTube chat? Can you respond to individual comments and stuff, or do you just have to like at people in there?
Probably.
I think you have to at. You have to at.
Yeah. We'll see that. See what's going on there. But cool. Okay. All looking good.
Yeah, from a painting perspective, I was actually contemplating painting my goalie mask.
All right.
But I don't know what I would use that that A isn't toxic and B that I can like seal coat.
Right.
Because it's a white acrylic Kevlar helmet that I've had forever. And I was gonna basically like strip it and then paint something on it and then use like a sealant, like a sealer coat.
Yeah.
But I'll have to like mask the inside so I don't get any paint inside the mask because I'll be breathing it the whole game. So I gotta be careful like what I use and stuff. But
you're planning on painting it like a sanguineous death mask, right?
I was actually gonna do the blood drop on the top of the mask and then have the wings like wrapped around the helmet. So
right. Nice.
But we'll see.
Excellent. John, Matt Bowles asks, do you have any info on the factions you can tell us?
Yeah, so their game is set in the Dominion Wars, so Deep Space Nine era, and
Space Mall.
What's that? Yeah,
Space Mall.
Yeah, exactly. Big floating spaceship thing, which we might make at some point. Who knows? But it'd be huge. But anyway, it's set in the Dominion War, so the main factions are the Federation and the Jem'Hadar, or the Dominion. But in there's also Romulans, Bajorans, and Klingons, and they can play on either side of the conflict, which they kind of did during the series. So you have kind of like these sway characters in your crew. Like if you say had Worf, for example, in your Federation list, then you can bring more Klingons as allies than you normally would be able to. So it's so the initial two primary factions in the game, but then everything that comes out afterwards that's not Dominion or Federation can play on either side.
Cool. Excellent.
If you have a Worf, that means you can get General Martok, and he rules.
Yes, he's the best. Martok is my favorite thing about Star Trek, I think.
I love all the meme with him talking to the little boy where he's like my dog died, and he's like your dog is in Stovacore, and he's like dogs go to Stovacore, and he's like there'll be more of them than there are of us. You must live an honorable life, so you will see your dog again.
He is like the most meme-worthy character I think ever. He is like so good, man. His screen caps, just his face, his expressions are fantastic. Very good.
Yeah,
he's great, but like the other one is the actor who is Gowron has like super bulgy eyes, and like there's the one where he's like, "Glory to you and your house."
Yes, I say that to people all the time. So dumb.
Josh says, Jen Hadar, I think I went to college with her.
Yeah.
This is after she goes bad. This is in the far future.
Nice. Awesome. Well, unfortunately, I didn't get to play any games over the last week either. So that's a bit of a shame. But tomorrow night, we have the finale of the Silver Bayonet campaign. And my friend Thomas, who's running it, has basically created this huge map for us to play on, which is a like a ossuary. I think I'm saying that right. Basically, like catacombs lined with bones, and everybody will be entering from a different spot, and there'll be rats and ghouls and some crazy sort of final boss we'll have to fight.
Oh, that's amazing. That sounds really fun.
What's that, John?
That sounds really fun.
Yeah, it should be super cool. I'm quite excited to see how that goes. But Matt says a battle of 5 armies, almost. But no, that'll be good. I'm looking forward to that. And I think after that, we're starting on, or next year, we'll be starting on A Song of Ice and Fire.
Oh, cool.
Which would be cool. We'll do a couple.
There's a good scene for that here locally, for sure.
Yeah. Excellent. I'm doing a whole Mormont force.
Oh, cool.
All from the Stark. So it'll be the She-Bears, the Bruisers, and then I'm going to take Umber Great Axes. No, not Umber Great Axes. Umber Berserkers, and run them as Mormont Berserkers, or paint them up as Mormont Berserkers.
Cool.
They have their new cavalry unit, the Umber Ravagers. They're basically great axes on horseback. I think they're awesome.
Oh wow, okay, I didn't know that because I went and bought a unit of the Bolton Flayed Men,
which are also awesome.
Yeah, they're cool. I like those models.
I was going to take them and just scrape off all of the spikes and the Flayed Men and use them as Mormont. Like
you can just use the Hedge Knights.
Hedge Knights aren't like brutal looking enough. They're cool, don't get me wrong, super cool, but they don't feel very
the Ravagers aren't out yet. They come out in they come out the middle of January or something, but
okay.
Yeah, they're
actually, I don't bust open that box just yet.
Yeah, you can return it, just swap it for a box of Ravagers.
Might have to do that. Cool. Excellent. So yeah, we'll have that coming up.
I can probably send you Mage Mormont.
Oh no, I already have her.
With the mace across her back?
Yep. And Liana.
Nice.
And, so I'm running those two and Caitlin Stark.
Nice.
For my sort of NCUs. But no, that should be pretty cool. But I also did a bunch of painting. No real surprise there.
Of course you did.
Yep. But yeah, I do that all the time. So all good. How did we all find with all of our busy schedules? How do we all find this past month of painting and preparing? And it's like 0 out of 10. Jake would not repeat.
I mean, yeah, like I wouldn't want this again. I basically I built the 3 eliminators.
Yep.
And I found the chaplain that I had built from the Indominus box. He's the guy that I just swapped. I took remember the old Chaos Warriors head that looks like a skull? I basically took that head and did a head swap, so it's a perfect chaplain head. I don't like the bare-headed Marines. I'm always like, they wouldn't do that. That's just a terrible idea. So I basically did a head swap. And let's see if this will show up. But
okay, let me get ready to.
Where is he? Here we go.
And mess around with different layouts so that we can. Oh, one. Here we go. No. Oh no.
That's you, Dave.
I know. Let's see if I can get it to go to you. No, it's still doing me.
You can only kind of, I guess, emphasize yourself, I guess.
No, we should be able to do the other.
Oh.
So I don't know if you can see it, but like that's the. I want it to focus.
Oh yeah.
Not me.
Yep.
There we go.
Don't worry, everybody. We have photos from everybody else. It's okay.
It's the Chaos Warrior old skull head, which looks cool.
Yeah, we can't quite see that, but
so I get that, and then I built the 3 eliminators. But so far, all I've done is I got them built and I zenithalled them. So I did like gray, and then I sort of dusted them with I think Mechanicus. Like I just to give them a quick dust it from like 12 o'clock. So there'll be a built-in highlight. So once I go back and do all the washes and stuff, it'll darken them up. But that's basically the extent. However, because you and everybody have been like, oh, my cool lamps. I was at Home Depot, and they had an LED desk lamp bar that also has a cool charger. And I was like, oh, rad. And they were on sale. I was like, I'll get that. So that'll be set up here so I can actually paint at my desk and have some decent light.
Excellent. Jeff was talking about lamps earlier before we started the show.
I blame Dave.
He went to the Game Envy website to get some paper and ended up pre-ordering a handful of lamps.
A handful? What the hell do you need 3 lamps for?
One for me and Christmas.
Yep.
And then 2 for you from Santa. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
I have some buddies in Arizona that I thought they'd enjoy the lamp, and I need a new lamp for my airbrush station. So I haven't decided which one, because I've got the red grass that I really like, but I've been watching Dave, and then just I went in to order some more paper for my wet palette, and of course, the first thing that comes up is pre-order now, and I'm like, well, a fool and his money are quickly parted. So So I ordered one for myself and finished the order. I think, okay, I'm done. And then I went, Aaron and Mike might like one of those. So I went back in and ordered 2 more. So, yeah. But it's still have a good lamp. So I can always use good light because I'm going blind. I'm getting old. My eyes don't work like they used to. So the more light, the better.
Yeah, for sure.
I blame Dave because he's got one on the show here. All of his PAX pictures showed him in front. I know he's going, I have to put this so Jeff will spend money. I'm going to put this right here so you can see it.
It's specifically the reason I did it. Yeah, that's the reason I went to PAX for 3 days.
Yeah. We just need to get Dave like a Game Envy NASCAR patch, so we know like whose stuff he uses. It's like, oh well, I've got this one and this one and this one.
Yeah.
I bought my God hand snips because of Dave, and so I blame him for it. I even told him before we went online. I said, "You got to stop spending my money, Dave. I can't afford this."
Awesome. Cool. Okay, Jake. So, what do you think? What are your plans for the next stretch of time?
I think once we the last thing. Well, let me tell you this first. So, remember I told you guys like at this point I have everything built except I didn't think I had the eliminators, which I found because there's no way to get. They're sold out everywhere. So I managed to find those 3 and I built them. Yep. So the only thing I'm missing now is I need to get 1 more repulsor.
Okay.
Everything else I have. I just need 1 more repulsor. So Rick Ankney was like, I have one. And I was like, oh, dude, can I have it? That'd be great. So he's like, yeah, I'll mail it to you. So that was like a month ago. So I called him and I was like, hey, like, I appreciate you doing me the solid, but like, I just want to make sure that this thing isn't lost. It's like it's like $120 or $140 or something.
Yeah,
so
110, yeah, something.
So I was like, I just want to make sure this thing doesn't get like lost in the mail. And he's like, oh, my guy was running a little late, but he's going to mail it out. I was like, okay, cool. So then like another 2 weeks went by and then Ben and I got a box that got delivered to the store. That's all of his. Remember when he was doing that Rick Rolls America tour thing and he'd all the coins?
Yep.
So the coins showed up.
Okay.
So I was like, oh man, this must be the repulsor. And I was like, this is really heavy. So I opened it up and I was like, oh, okay, it's the coins, like, which are super cool. So then I messaged Rick and I was like, hey, we got the coins, but I still haven't seen the repulsor. And he's like, I'll follow up with my guy. So now I'm like, there's a repulsor that's like lost in the mail somewhere. Like, I don't know where it is, but like, I'm like, oh man. So now I'm going to try to, I think next I'm going to build the executioner I have.
Right.
And I'm going to, sort of like learn how to paint on that one. And then I'll build the other 2 repulsors that I have. And the one that I'm waiting on, because that one's going to be painted differently. That's going to be my Death Company. So I'm going to paint that one black. So I'm like, I'll just do that one separate. So I'm going to try to do the three repulsors, the 2 repulsors and the executioner next.
Okay. Cool. That'd be that's a nice sort of big chunk of real estate as well.
Yeah. I haven't built one of the repulsors yet. I mean, I built tons of the old Jess Goodwin Land Raiders, and I love that kit. So I've heard that it's similar.
Yeah, they're big.
Yeah, it's about the same size as the Land Raider. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Terminator next to it. So
right on.
Yeah.
I've seen did you see the conversions people did? Somebody took the track assembly from a Land Raider and put it on the repulsor. It looks nuts. It looks so cool.
Yeah, it does look good. But yeah, no, there's definitely some nice kits. I enjoyed working on those. Nice. If you saw Scott's comment.
Yeah, good old Scott.
The tank is on the way, along with complete Vallejo paint range.
No, dude, we're done with that. We're not gonna bother bringing Vallejo in. We've had too many different things go sideways, and I'm like, nope, it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
Here in Arizona, actually pulled down his model color rack because he just can't restock it.
Yep,
yeah.
That's exactly why we didn't do it.
Yeah.
It's such a shame. Such a shame. But anyway, there'll be a fantastic range coming in January, February to replace it.
February. It's like February 6th or 16th or something. The new Fanatic range is going to be awesome.
Brought to you by
our glorious sponsor, the Army Painter.
Wonderfully segued there. And I'm excited to talk about these in the new year.
These guys right here.
There we go. A little bit of ASMR.
Yeah, John is brought to you by the Army Painter.
Yeah. Now that I know where the where our grid falls,
Yeah.
I can adjust to the sponsorship.
Just awaiting my shipments. You know, it's part of my promotional deal. I gave you my shipping address. I'm just still waiting for that.
I thought maybe you'd change your name to Brought to You by the Army Painter.
No, it's very complicated to turn your name into a phrase. It turns out,
isn't it?
Yeah, it's problematic.
Scott said he's a Vallejo model color guy, but isn't AK third gen just the same but better in every way? Okay, so without getting too deep in the weeds, Vallejo, AK, and Scale are basically all the same exact paint. Like they're made in the same factory. They're produced by the same chemist company that does all like the actual formulaic stuff. They're the same paint. Dave and I've been through this before. Like AK always cracks me up because it's MIG's third company.
Yeah.
So like, but like they're all made in Spain. They're all Spanish-based companies. Their stuff's all made in the same way. It's the same stuff. So their stuff is great. I will say that the new Fanatic range is just going to be better. It just looks nuts. Like I have some sample ones that I was sent. I'm not allowed to like show anything or talk about the colors or anything. But like in terms of like the formula stuff, they're insane. Like they're going to be such a really nice range. And now you're starting to see pictures online about like what the new rack looks like, and some guys who are pro painters are showing off their stuff and being like, I painted this with the Fanatic range. From what I understand, they're reformulating. It's basically like the war color range, which is like their normal range, is going to get completely converted into the Fanatic range. And that includes, as far as I understand, all their regular paints, all their standard metallics, and all of their standard tones or shades or whatever, like all of those. The air paint is kind of staying its own thing, and all the new speed paints are kind of like they're a separate thing. So, but yeah, the new stuff's going to be great. And again, we're going to try to get Adam and Kat on from Army Painter in our in between like holiday episode, and they can go into it more in detail.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of my friends are excited about it.
Yeah. One of the things that Scott's just said there, Scale seems to operate way differently than the other two. I am going to say, Jake, that even though that it's might be the same factory and the same sort of people that are devising the formulations might not necessarily be the same.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's slight differences.
And Scott, a bakery can produce a lot of different types of bread.
Right. Well, I have the full Scale color and fantasy game color, and I have all the model color as well. And the Vallejo the Scale does, in some of the colors work a little differently. And I have to actually, my technique has to change a bit for that formulation. But I actually really enjoy the Scale stuff. So.
Yeah.
I mean, and don't get me wrong, like I have some Scale paints. I like the Scale 75 guys from a consumer perspective. The reason why they're the easiest to deal with out of the three is that Scale 75 set up a Scale 75 US. Like they have their own like warehousing and shipping and so all that sort of stuff. So even as a store, it's easier for us to get it. But as a consumer, it's just going to be easier to get because they've deliberately tried to make it more readily available here. Whereas like when you're dealing with Vallejo doesn't have a North American office, and neither does, I mean, AK now has a North American distributor. I believe they're all distributed through Lightspeed Global, and they're in Canada. And those guys are great. They're super nice. But it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know how hard it's going to be to restock or keep available but
Brian at Scale 75 is a really nice guy. I met him at the IPMS Nationals in 2016. I talk to him almost every week.
Yeah, he's a really
great guy.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy.
They're really good.
My first interaction with him was at Adepticon. I walked up to him and I was like, "Hey, I just want to see if there's an easier way for me to get your stuff." And he was like, "An easier way?" And I was like, "Yeah, I run a store in Boston, and we'd love to carry more of it." And he's like, "Oh, how do you get it now?" And I went, "I think we get it through we must get it through a distributor or something." And he was like, "Nobody distributes it in North America." And I went, "Oh, that's right. I get it through Scale 70. I get it through Green Stuff World." And he literally was like, like walked away from the desk for a second, and I was like, "Well, what's this all about?" And he came back and he was like, "Hey, I'm really sorry, it's not you." And he's like, "We have an agreement with them. Green Stuff World is supposed to handle orders on their website because they're also based in Spain, and people can kind of put stuff in the same cart and they're allowed to ship it. But if it's anybody in North America, they're supposed to redirect them to us." And I was like, "Oh," he's like, "I can get you a better price, and you're not going to pay import fees because it's not coming from Spain." And I was like, "That'd be great." He was super nice, but it was really funny. Like, I was like, "Why is he upset?" Like, he was heated that I had their stuff in stock and didn't get it from him. And I was like, "Okay."
I had almost the same conversation with him at the IPMS meeting because I was actually buying for Darren for Imperial Games and had the same thing. It was like very similar. So,
yeah.
Excellent. Cool. Okay. We are. Are you good, Jake? Know about where you're going to be going? Working on some tanks.
Yeah, I'm going to try to finish the 4 guys I got, and then I'm going to do the tanks, and then who goes after that.
Cool. Sounds good. Okay, I am going to have a go at bringing up the one of the slideshows, and first we'll take a look at John and some of John's stuff and see what he's been working on, and then we'll have a look at some of Jeff's stuff. We'll check that out, and then we'll have a look at the Gravis guys that I've been working on. So, sorry, I do have to follow this up. Scott says, "This is the first time I've heard of Green Stuff World and shady business practices." Every time. Let me get this going and see if I can make it work properly. Adding slides from the computer. Oh, what's it doing?
Everybody in the notes is talking about like a really good white, and I would agree. The Pro Acryl white is awesome.
Very
yeah, it's really easy to use.
Mm-hmm.
I do also use this from time to time, which I really like. I think this is scale. Yeah, I use the scale color white alchemy, which is like a pearlescent. It's like a pearlescent white. I do like that.
That's pretty.
Cool.
Not the white, the night.
So that's full disclosure. That's some Photoshop there. I did paint all of the yellow on there and all the metallics and everything, but I was trying to work out before because there's kind of like a step where I go through and I do like an oil wash over everything, and I want to put all the decals and everything down ahead of time. So I want to do all that before I do the wash part. So I did this to try to map it all out. And this is essentially like how I'm going to try to treat the scheme on most of them. So it's going to be this kind of warm yellow and then kind of like a Payne's gray black. So like a real bluish black for everything. And then if you look at the upper left-hand corner, that shoulder pad, I don't know if you can make it out very well, but there's...
Yeah, it's all like, it's the Greek, like black drawings.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so like a lot of Greek pottery had these like characters in profile, and it was like an aesthetic that they had. I can't remember the style of pottery it is, but it's either like a bright kind of like orange or it's black with figures reversed over top of it. So for each one of these shoulder pads, I've kind of like decided that like the theme of the whole list, I'm kind of going with Greek monsters. So the 3 large knights that I have, the Questoris knights, are all going to be the 3 Cyclops that crafted Zeus's lightning bolt, and then like all of the lesser guys are all going to be like, I think I mentioned this last time, Medusa, Chimera, Manticore, Minotaur, whatever. It's themed around that, but the shoulder pads are all going to have like symbols or characters on there to represent that. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to use a guy that's going to make custom transfers for me. I'm going to draw all these images out because it's a lot of repeated figures, and I don't want to do like a ton of freehand on every single night. I would rather just kind of do the repeated kind of figures, and then I can use them as transfers. And that also makes it a lot easier when I'm going back in to do touch up because I have like this gradient in the background. Otherwise, it's really hard to match that if you're trying to do freehand work. So
right.
If I was going to do freehand, I would probably just have a flat background color. I'd do all the designs, and then I'd go with transparent shading over top to kind of like get all the shading and transitions and stuff. But
yeah.
Anyway, so that's kind of like the goal, I think, is that I'm going with this kind of Greek theme. I'm going to do custom transfers for all the shoulder pads for all the dudes. Each one is going to have their own kind of like unique story and stuff on it, I suppose. I'll have like one guy that's like giving soldiers like bows and arrows, and another one that's like at the forge, and then a last guy that's like, I don't know, calling down rain or something. I don't know yet exactly what, but I'll sketch it all out and I'll make illustrations for those and then get transfers made and get them put on all my knights.
I like it. If you need transfers, I don't know who you're using, but like a lot of times we use Death Ray Designs.
That's the guy. Yeah, he's the dude I'm going to use. Dave got me in contact with him. So yeah, I just need to get my Illustrator files together and get them sent over. So, but part of that is I have to scale them so they're the right size. And
right.
Got to do a few things. Yeah. But yeah. So that's there's that, and then while I've been working on that night and the two other smaller nights, I've also been building a bunch of stuff too. So I've been building like the next batch of nights, and I got another Questoris done. This shows just like the airbrushing process. I found a yellow that I really liked. I'm always kind of like looking for new ways to paint yellow, and I tried a bunch of pro acrylic paints this time around and had a really good experience with it. It worked out great.
Cool. What color did you start with? What's that brown? But did you start with the brown? Or?
I didn't actually. What I did is I primed them all with Army Painter primer. So I used the desert yellow, I think is what color it is.
Okay.
And then I sprayed them all the plates on the back side with silver, and then the front side with yellow ochre. And that's like it has a really good opacity, and it's a really good solid base coat color.
Okay.
And then on top of that, I put down warm yellow, and then I shaded it by mixing in burnt orange with the warm yellow. And then highlighted up one more time. And then as a final step, I've been using their transparent colors quite a bit. And I used transparent brown, which is the color I use a ton for scenery. And it's really nice because it just really ties in those other layers. It gives you a little bit of extra punch. And that's like the deepest kind of brown that you see in there is that transparent brown over top. So yeah, those 4 colors primarily.
Nice.
Awesome.
Cool. Very nice.
Yeah, that's good. So that's what are we seeing now? We've got two armatures and so
2 armatures. So yeah, that's just a piece of plastic card, double-sided foam tape on it. I put all of first I flipped them all over and I primed them all, those 2 colors. So silver on the backside, and then flipped them over and then did the other color on the flip.
Yep.
And then I just attached them to those things. Then I just use that to airbrush them all. And I'll do the same thing when I'm going through to do decals and all the other detail stuff. Like I'll attach the plates last, because this just lets me airbrush stuff and not worry about overspray or anything else. I just think I don't think it's a new approach. It's just it's a logical one as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, for sure. No, looking good. That's it. Yeah, beautiful, super rich yellow there.
Yeah, I like how it's turning out quite a bit. And so I found that those paints airbrushed really well, and it's good so far. And then I think I had a couple other pictures of the other knights that I'm building right now. So I've got one other Questoris knight where I repositioned the leg. I don't know if it's in the gallery or not.
Unfortunately, I didn't have.
No worries. Yeah, I'll just post them. I have a bunch of progress. And in fact, when this show's over tonight, I'm gonna sit down and just paint a lot. I've been jonesing to do it for a long time, so I'll post a bunch of progress pics in the Facebook group.
Excellent. Well, the other one I did post there was the base.
Base.
So.
Yeah, the bases again. I used a bunch of pro acrylic colors, and I wanted, because I have a lot of yellow and orange in the scheme, I wanted to have a little bit of purple in there. So I took that fantasy game color. I can't remember what it is. I took these pictures so I could help remember what the colors are. But I just wanted kind of like a purpley red gray kind of base. So trying to
called like Lazarus gray or something like
Lazarus gray. Yeah, I think that's right. If I have it around here somewhere, but I think you're right. So just airbrush with that, and then the far right is just the final dry brush over top of everything to pop it out.
So you did that final dry brush with the white blue?
Yeah, just really, really light. It hardly even shows up in the photographs. You don't see it very well, but it added a decent amount to the overall thing. It'll kind of tint it back down when I do a little bit of oil wash over top of it. But strangely enough, that is the last color I used to dry brush those.
Wow, I've never thought of that. It's great, super cool. But yeah, those bases are looking beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. It's it's 3D printed. Just there's a company online that has a flagstone base file and had a bunch of like ruined Greco-Roman pillars and stuff. And I was like, I'll just print all this stuff out. So this project has been fun because it's I have so few models that I can just spend more time on learning 3D printing stuff and magnetizing things and trying weird oil wash stuff and just different techniques that I just are not necessarily new, but I just get more of a chance to practice them.
Yeah, that's
They
cool.
look good. I like it.
Yeah, looking really good.
Thanks, man.
Scott's comment says, Photoshopped. Come on, John. I know the story. I swipe on the night. When I meet up, she's just a dreadnought with heavy bolters. I'm disappointed.
I know. So true. Heavy stubbers even is what it is.
Just the heavy stuff.
Just heavy stubbers. Yeah.
Nice.
But my goal is to paint the next 3 nights. So I want to get everything painted and airbrushed and oil washed, so I'm ready for when the decals come in to just drop all those things on there. So I think in the next month, I'm going to try to get the Questoris Knight and 2 more armigers, like essentially up to the level that I have them currently, which is all the airbrushing and the oil washing and stuff is done. Just details left.
Awesome. That's super cool. I just noticed Sean Gleason has joined us. Hi, Sean. Thanks for dropping in. And Joe says, I've really got into Mr. Hobbit. Did somebody say this already? And I was only half listening. Feels terrible. I was sorry, messing around with things in the background. But yeah, really got into Mr. Hobby for the mecha oil washing.
That's like the brand of Japanese hobby shop, right?
Yeah.
I have a few of them. I don't have their oil washes, or I think they make like panel liners and a few other things. But
right.
I usually just use standard oil paints like Winsor Newton, just kind of these guys. They're just cheap. Or I'll use like panel liners sometimes. Or AK Interactive has like pre-made washes that a lot of people use that I've used as well, like Streak and Grime and some of those other kind of familiar stuff. But those are just pre-made. You don't have to mix them up.
Cool. Neat. Excellent. So
Really good.
In January, we see the first 3, not fully completed, of course, but
yeah, minus the decals and stuff. But yeah, I will have more nights painted, almost done. It's kind of this one decision to do this one like kind of custom shoulder pad thing messes up the regular flow of things because I obviously need to get those made. But yeah, I'm going to try to get everything else done that I can.
Yeah, I think it's going to be super cool.
Well,
Great.
Well worth the wait.
Excellent. Okay. Next up, bring this up. So many clicks to do this. There we go. But the end result is great. Also, I might just swing to this for a sec. There we go. You can see all of us. How about that? And then switch back to that. Okay, cool. Joe also says that he'll make sure Austin is on the ball to help with those decals.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay, now Jeff, we've got your Wolf Lord. I think did we show it off on the show last week? Or
yeah, you should have picked of my Wolf Lord on. Let's see, Tactical Rock, Command Altar.
Right.
Everybody's having fun with the lovely little base you're standing on.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's the first 3 of my Thunderwolf Cav with the spears.
Yep.
I've got 3 more that'll be joining them as well. So yeah, I'm having fun with it. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Actually, those are the first 3 Thunderwolf Cav I've ever actually completed.
Really?
Yeah, I've always wanted to get them done, but when I have a love-hate relationship with them.
Right.
When I've been playing Space Wolves forever, and when the Codex first came out and showed Marines on power armor riding wolves, I kind of went, "Are you kidding?" And and shied away from them for quite a while. Then I slowly went, "Oh, I'm going to suspend my disbelief," and then I finally accepted it. Yeah, they're the first ones I've ever actually finished, and the spear conversions were good. I had some problems with the fact that the spears are 3D printed and are very brittle.
Right.
And I am not a very delicate person when I'm painting, so I managed to. I think every one of them have been busted. The spears have snapped off, but I've turned and caught one of the ends with my hand, and they snapped off at the hand holding it, and I've had to pin them all back together.
Right. Maybe for the next week, start with the pinning.
I remember when these came out. When these came out, I wanted to make the equivalent for like a buddy of mine plays salamanders, and I was like, man, you could just get these guys and get like a bunch of the cold one knights and just put them on lizards. And I was like, that'd be rad.
Yeah. Yeah. My buddy Darren's on. He says there's no wolves on Fenris. That's what they say. And if you actually take that to a conclusion, you got Space Marines riding Space Marines that failed and became wolves.
Yeah.
It gets a little weird, but they're cut out pretty nice. I got 3 more to do, and then go from there. But I'm really happy with them. And I think though, when I do my when I tackle the intercessor jump packs, I'm going to leave the spears off, paint them separately, and then attach them after they're both painted.
Right.
That way I don't have to worry about having to drill them and pin them all back together. So.
Yeah. That's cool. I really love the black through the bone kind of that coloration you got on the wolves there. Yeah,
I spent a lot of time just looking at different pictures of wolf coloration on just kind of get some variety, so they all didn't look the same.
Yeah. This guy looks really sinister with the that sort of dark face.
The muzzle.
Yeah.
That dark muzzle look on his face. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, no, they've been they're a lot of fun. Getting them, the hardest part, the other hard part about them was getting those particular poses of wolves to fit on the Dragonforge bases,
right?
Where the all the proper points of contact, I could make contact.
Right.
So I had to do a little bit of moving around, just kind of turning them around, and I had to actually mark them. So I knew, because I did the bases first. So once I found the position where I would take the wolf and go, okay, he goes here, I would then set the base down, and I went brown wolf with black top or whatever on the bottom of it, so I knew what base to pull to put him on. So, but it's going quite nicely. So then I rewrote my list again, so I had to actually add some troops and take some away. So we're getting there. They're not looking too bad.
Nice.
They look, Jeff. They look great.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love them. They were very cool.
Yeah.
I think the next photo I've got here is of your dreadnought. Is that right? Yep.
Yeah, that's Enoch Iron or Ice Claw.
Cool.
So, yeah, that's my Brutalis dreadnought. With some, I took 2 of the conversion kits from Pop Goes the Monkey, and basically used one shoulder off each one, because one of them comes with that really fancy knotwork with the white wolf. And the shoulder pads both match, and then the other one has the other pattern. So I took one of each and threw on there.
That's cool. Is that like a raised detail that's on the actual shoulder?
Yes, it's all raised detail.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. I got to go back through and do a little bit of highlighting on it and stuff now, and start bringing it together. But then I've got those are the shield also is from Pop Goes the Monkey, and I didn't bother to read the size of the shield.
Right.
When I ordered them. And that's really cool. I'll have a dozen of those. And then when they came in, I went, okay, well, there's not a single, maybe one Marine. That's why my captain with jump pack is using that shield. But it worked really good because Vikings like to put shields on everything when they do things. So he's got that shield on the front plate, and then on the back on the engine, I've got the Dreadnought Space Wolf shield that comes with it.
Okay.
I basically hollowed out the shield, and I've mounted that on the back, between right below the exhaust on the engine. That'll be mounted on the back.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to do the claws. The arm is in the standard gray sear with some black accents, but then the actual claws are going to be kind of an ice look, like they're frost claws.
Kind of like the ice blue that you've.
Yeah. I really like.
What's the space? What's the boat thing that they have?
The Space Wolves?
Yeah.
The storm thing, or?
That's the Grimnar rides it. I forget what it's called now.
No, not that. The one that can be either a gunboat or a transport.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Stormfang.
Yeah,
Storm
Jeff
Fang.
one.
I have the Stormfang. I have the Stormfang with the Stormfang, and then the transport has a different name. But I've got the first one I built was a Stormfang that it actually still has transport capabilities. It can handle 6. which will probably be where my Hounds of Mordecai will be, in the back of that.
The reason I bring it up is I saw a guy. I mean, this is probably years ago, but a guy built the transport version,
Right.
and on the side of it, he has all like shields down the side, like on a Viking longboat.
Yeah.
So it's like, I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Cool.
that was one of my ideas to do that. So yes, it looks really cool.
Josh says the transport version is called the Storm Brick.
Yeah, I believe that's true.
There's nothing aerodynamic about any of those vehicles.
No,
whatsoever.
it's pure Space Marine joy.
It's pure proof that the theory of flying is literally throwing yourself at the ground and missing.
Yep.
And both those vehicles are perfect examples of that, because there's nothing that should generate any kind of lift on it whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Jeff, I like your white armor. What's your mix in there? What are you using?
It's basically I base coat them in the Gray Seer spray, and then I basically do a quick, really light airbrush of in the recesses of Dark Reaper.
Okay.
And then I just go back over it and just kind of clean up the detail and get that all straightened up, and then I do an edge highlight of Ulthuan Gray. I didn't want the edge highlight to be really prominent, but I wanted to be there when you saw it. So that's got a really thin highlight on the edges of that. So
yeah, and let's also just do white icons and things and make them pop, like you see it on the shoulder pad of the.
Yeah, I got to go back
the white wolf
and hit the corners. I want to do each, like the really sharp points in an actual white to kind of bring those out a bit. But yeah, that's come along quite nicely. I'm not unhappy with them. I got the arms I'm working on right now. I've actually working on them before I jumped online, and so still have a lot to do. As you saw the one picture of the tray, I think I told Dave that every time I think I'm making some headroom, I walk past this tray. I'm like, because they're all built. The only thing I've added, where's that tray at? Where are they at? I've added these lovely little things. Oh. The Centurions.
Oh, those things are great.
Yeah, I thought they'd be bigger. The Terminators are almost as big as these guys. But I got a game scheduled. My first game of 10th edition scheduled next week because Battlefront closes the week between Christmas and New Year. So I got my first game scheduled for that. And the guy I'm playing is notorious for bringing a lot of vehicles, a lot of tanks. And the only real heavy hitters I got that can actually deal with that is the Stormfang, of course.
Yep.
And the Rutalis has got the multi-meltas. And I'm like, other than that, I'm all hand to hand for the most part. And I wanted to stay away from the standard Space Wolf trope that I've been painting for years, which is the Longfangs, Grey Hunters, and Blood Claws. So I'm trying to stay away from that. I think the Centurions and the Space Wolf, the Thunderwolf, are the only original Space Wolf kind of stuff that I have. And so I've always been fascinated on how ugly the Centurions were. And I thought, I'm just going to throw those in the army. So I actually bought a set of those and made the Devastator version. Well, that'll add 3 twin-link glass cannons and 3 Centurion missile launchers, which will give me 36 to 48 inches out. Will give me some. Okay, if I place them right, that'll give me a little bit more support in that category. But I had to drop my Captain and Gravis-armored and 1 squad of my heavy interceptors to bring them in. So,
right.
Yeah, so it should be pretty cool.
Are you still going to paint the Gravis Captain and the heavy intercessors?
Yeah, they're still part of the army, but for this particular project, they're not on the. If they're not done, it doesn't hurt anything. So, but that I had to pull them out to keep it to 2,000 points. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm getting ready to start after I finish the Dread. I've got the Wolves and the bases done for the next 3 Thundercav. I'm just waiting for a box that I'm waiting for that Jake sent me. That'll have their actual riders, and then I'm going to start the jump packs. And then I've got the intercessors, my librarian, and the Terminator. So,
right.
So I still got quite a bit to do. So all my Fangs of Mordecai.
Sure.
Or Hounds of Mordecai, I should say.
But as you said, you got a week off next week. So.
Yeah, I have the whole week off. I still do a lot of commission work. So during the day, I probably work on commissions most of the day, and then around 4 o'clock, I'll switch over and paint until some days 1 or 2 in the morning.
Right. You can know the whole day's work on those.
Yeah, so it's like, but it's been a heck of a lot of fun because I don't normally spend a lot of time working on my own stuff, and this is actually let me really kind of focus on it. So I'm actually getting a lot of stuff completed. So it's kind of cool, kind of fun.
Excellent.
Jeff, you got to trick yourself. You got to be like, I have a client who wants a whole bunch of, wolf spear stuff done. I got to get it done this week. It's paying me a pretty low rate, but I got to get it done.
Well, I love commission painting because I do decent tabletop stuff for guys who want to play, I got a job right now that I had to call him and say I can't paint any more gold because I've done almost 3,000 points, maybe 4,000 points of custodes for him. Yep. And he just sent me like 6 boxes of Sisters of Silence. And I'm like, and not just, this was actually a while ago. And I was calling and said, I got to take a break from gold. I just can't paint gold for a while.
You just said, do you mind if I paint these all silver?
Yeah. These guys are going to be all Joker minions. They're going to be purple and green because I just got to do something different.
You're like I'm going to spray them with a can of Retributor Gold, wash the whole model in Agrax Earthshade, and then pick out highlights and paint the capes, and they are done.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it is. So, but this gives me something because I also have to rotate through projects to keep from getting. I have a problem as I get closer to finishing something. I start to rush, and then of course my level of detail attention begins to diminish. So I intentionally, when I hit a certain point, when I start, that's going to look really great, I go, okay, and I'll set it aside and I'll bring something else. And I work on that for a while to keep me from falling into that pit. So that's why I've got like a dozen projects sitting around me right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And now I got to do nights because John's nights look awesome.
Nights are cool. Yeah, it's fun just to do something that big, I think. I'm so used to like 1-inch tall dudes all the time. It's nice to just have a whole project that's nothing but big things.
I painted one night, and while I was trying to decide what night house I was going to do, I'm reading through the book, and then I came across the one that said that he was awarded something from the Space Wolf. So on his lower leg, he's got a little Space Wolf icon. Oh, now I'm going to do that one. Yeah. and of course he was yellow, which yellow and white were my two big curses. But I've gotten with Procore white. That's actually become not as difficult as it used to be. So I actually did the white one. He used yellow on the night. It came out really, really good. Then when I left Arizona, I gave it to a buddy of mine who has a Imperial Fist army, and I gave it to him. So.
Yep. Just noticed that Jez said that's 4 Custodes minis when you're talking about 3,000 points.
Yeah.
No.
You're the right one. It can be.
A lot.
Nice. Excellent. That's good. So, what are the next steps? You doing Centurions are going to be the next thing you'll?
No, I think I'm gonna pop into once I finish the arms and the rest of the Brutalis Dreadnought. I'm gonna do my Intercessor jump pack.
Okay.
I'm kind of itching to do those, but I think I'm gonna do them a little differently. I'm gonna paint the spears and set them aside. I think the only reason I haven't started them yet is I had to order more spears. Right. So I'm waiting for them to come in.
Because he keeps breaking them.
I do keep breaking them. I can't use synthetic brushes because I'm a very heavy-handed painter. And I literally within an hour of using a synthetic brush, it'll just curve at the end. Right. And I do the same thing when I'm whipping the paint handle around. I'll catch it with a hand or do something with it, and I'll snap it off. So I'm going to leave them off for when I start painting the intersection.
Yep. Excellent. Joe says one of the experiences I learned the most about load, patience, and technique was hand painting the yellow on Escher gangers.
I can see that.
Yep, for sure. Excellent. Okay.
Depending on how long ago that was, that yellow could have been really, really hard to work with.
Yeah.
If it was
yellow or something. Yeah.
I mean, yellow it wasn't sun yellow. What was it? No, I can't remember anymore.
There's like Averland. Well, now it's like Averland Sunset.
I'm thinking way back before then. I can't
remember. Adams yellow and what was the go-to yellow? Sunburst yellow.
Sunburst yellow. That was it. Thank you. Yeah. Yep. Sunburst yellow.
For you old guys, I have. Where's it at?
Nice.
I mean us, right?
Yeah, we're talking about Sunburst Yellow. We're probably pretty old.
Well, I can say that because I know for a fact I'm the oldest guy on stream right now. But I actually have I have a bottle. I can't find it now. I have a bottle of Armor Wash.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
You guys
blue
remember?
cap?
Yeah, I have actually a buddy of mine's got 2 cases of it. You remember when they switched out paint at GW when the new bullet shaped bottles came in and they let us kind of go back and raid the hobby room?
Yep.
I'm grabbing a whole bunch of colors, and my buddy Greg literally just went back and went, Armor Wash, Armor Wash, Armor Wash. And I was visiting him up in Pittsburgh, and he goes, did you like GW's Armor Wash? Oh, I said, I loved it. I wish we still had it. And he goes back into his paint room, comes out with a bottle, and goes, here you go. And I'm like, oh my God, that's awesome. And I've been really using it sparingly. And then I was talking to him last week, and he goes, I'm really almost out of Armor Wash. It's making me crazy. Oh, don't worry, I've got like 2 more boxes in the back.
That's awesome. That is awesome. That's I think I said like the oldest colors I have one of the old white cap hexagon bottles of chestnut ink.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, I love that. I'm so careful with that. And then somebody the other day, or a year ago, my buddy Killian gave me a bottle, one of the old hexagon flat tops with the flap cap.
Yep.
It's a Hydra turquoise.
Oh.
And I was like, that's awesome.
I dug these out of the foundation. Remember the old foundation paints?
Oh,
yeah.
I
had a couple of them and they dried out.
And Necron Abyss.
That was a good color. Yeah.
I haven't opened these yet. I'm waiting for something special.
Yeah, Necron Abyss was really cool.
Yeah.
Sean did a shout out to the Foundation Ochre. The ochre.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh, nice.
It was definitely cool.
A lot of Calvin Brown in my days. I remember that color a lot.
Yep. And what was it? What was there was like a greenish gray.
Charadon Granite?
Charadon Granite, yeah, that's it.
I think so. Yeah.
Charadon Granite.
I'll never forget those paint names.
As their Foundation was a great range contest.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
There's a guy that watches our stream on Saturday. His name is Len. He's a great guy. But all of his bases are the old style Goblin green.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And we were making fun of him on the show because anytime we'd see something anywhere, he had a Goblin green base. Well, Lenny must have painted that. And we were chatting with him online, and he goes, I love that color so much that before my last bottle went dry, I put it on a swatch, took it to a place that had it color matched, and he's got pint cans of the old Goblin green because that's the only thing he wants to put on the ring of the base. And it's like, okay, that's some dedication.
Yeah.
There you go. So,
Dude, never again will I paint a Goblin green base.
Everything has got Goblin green on it. We always make fun of him for it because we're like, if you want to know why they discontinued Goblin greens, because Lenny bought it all.
Just couldn't restock it fast enough.
Yeah, he just couldn't restock it fast. Well, they keep Cryptek Armor Wash is another one I love, and they discontinued that on me. So
no,
I might have some Cryptek Armor Wash at the store. Maybe, like I'll check.
Well, if you know anybody, if you have anything headed to Maryland,
yeah.
I actually went out that and Gilliman Blue. I went on a mad hunt for Gilliman Blue when I heard that had been discontinued. So I've actually emptied them out of the small bottles, and I have 3 large bottles like that of Gilliman Blue. So.
That was like their gem, or like their what do you call it? Like a tint paint or something.
Yeah, it's a glaze.
Glaze. That's
they did Gilliman Blue, and there's a red and there was a green glaze.
Yeah.
And that used to be all of my, whenever I was doing ice or frozen bases, that was my go-to. But the new contrast of Frostheart, that works so well.
Yeah, Frostheart's really good. So's Pilar Glacier, I think.
Yeah, because I'll take and I'll prime them. I'll prime them white, and then I'll dry brush like usually moot green or another green below that, and then I will literally put Frostheart over it. And then give it a dry brush of white, so you got that kind of a blue green, kind of a water. Then it makes it's really great for ice. So,
cool, nice.
How do you guys, speaking of paint names and stuff, how do you guys feel about all these new like GW kind of like retiring paints and bringing in new ones all the time? Like I feel like I can't keep track of colors as well as I used to. Like it's just because they're constantly cycling in and out, and there's so many.
I think the app, the GW Paint app, is actually really good.
Okay, I don't
it's
use
super
it.
helpful. It's super helpful. But I'm with you. Like the biggest thing that I don't like is that they changed a bunch of names, and like they're the same color. So like I used to have a very specific way that I did all my bases, and you guys can probably help me out with the colors. So this is like from 2003, 2004. So whenever I would do bases, I would do a 3-step with brown. I would use like a really dark, rich brown, and I think it was like something earth, and then I would do the there was like a tan color, which was like my mid-tone, and then I used to use bleached bone was my highlight. And now all of those colors are now different. So the current lineup, I believe, is scorched earth was the dark color, and then I used Steel Legion drab
brown.
Yeah, right. But it used to be scorched earth, right? So I used to use
the GW color was scorched brown, and the Vallejo model color version of it is charred brown.
Yep, because I replayed when they stopped making scorched earth. I picked up charred brown. Have you guys ever used an app called Paint Rack?
No.
For Apple, it's called Paint My Mini. For Android, it's called Paint Rack. The reason I bring it up, it's got a really great feature where you can pick a color. It's got all the old Citadel colors are listed in it, as well as the new stuff. But you can select a color from any paint range, put it into the tools function, and it'll color match all the other brands.
Oh, that's cool.
Right.
So you can actually go through it and go, okay, well, I'm out of this color. I can't find it. What other brand matches? And it'll go through all the brands you can actually find that are close to it.
Yeah,
it's really I use it all the time.
I do have Paint My Minis on my phone, but it looks like I've only used it for one project, and that would be for my American Civil War Union Army that I did 10 years ago.
You haven't used it in a while.
So the app has longevity.
It does.
For a lot of people. Not so much for me, but for a lot of other people. For sure.
And literally to get the premium edition of it was only $3 in perpetuity. You pay your $3 once and you're done.
Yeah.
But it's a great app. Like I'll be in the shop all the time when I can't find this color, and I'll just color match, and it'll tell me. And every paint line they just added right after Too Thin Coats came out. It was on the app within like 2 or 3 days. You can go through and do all that. So it's a really good app for stuff like that.
That's cool. Yeah, look into it. That sounds awesome.
So Josh and Jez just said that's why they go with the Iron Painter. Not only do they have creative names, they've included a true description on the label. And then Jez said, being monochromatic colorblind, I have to remember what the colors are, and every time they change the names, it's a real pain. I really like that Army Painter gives a description of the name, description of the color in the name.
Yeah. One of the
Monument's pretty good too, I guess.
Yeah, Monument have that too. Yeah. One of the things I was going to say with the with the new ones, so there's the name, like this is Desert Yellow, is the fun name that it's been given. So they haven't got rid of the fun names. But on the side it says strong yellowish brown. Very from a set of descriptors, like a standard that is applied to colors across the globe. Then also down in the corner, do we have somebody have their?
Yeah, somebody's a little echoey.
Yeah, you're getting some echo. But and then down the bottom it shows what triad it's in, which is ochres and tans, and it shows a spot in the flexible triads that they're doing. So, like
Joe says, one of his guys in R&D is red green colorblind.
Yeah.
So he said he was working on something in the studio and he was using a paint called Royal Blood, which is a blue, but he thought it was a red. So it took like 20 minutes of them trying to convince him that it's not a red, it's a blue.
Right. Oh my goodness.
You want to talk about weird names of paint? Turbodor holds the crown. Their color are just weird. Their names.
One of the other cool things on the label here is that it says color primer match. So you know that particular paint has a color primer that matches.
Yeah, I like that. That's nice.
So the Dorito skin, light yellowish brown. And
would you say Dorito skin?
Dorito skin, yes.
Like it's just orangey.
It's the ranch Doritos. It's not the.
Nice.
It's a Cool Ranch rather than the hot, spicy, whatever they're called.
Nacho cheese, I think.
Yeah, just nacho.
Yeah, the Enfuego.
Enfuego. Yeah.
But it's from deep skin tones but it's right at the top end of the triad. Neat. Cool.
John, back to your issue. I think one of the weirdest ones is the fact that like GW just, when they change certain names, I'm always like, why did they do that? And I know it's because they want to like be able to protect the name, but I think a lot of them aren't any more easily protected than other ones. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I
In a
think
lot of cases, I don't know. It's just kind of frustrating, like being a person that likes to go back and revisit armies over time, to find that either the paints are discontinued and no longer available, or they've been renamed something else, or they've released like all these other different things that are close to it, but not exactly the same. I don't know. It's just, I'm very accustomed to like, however many colors there were in the range and just knowing those really well and knowing their properties. And I feel like there are so many paints anymore that it's, that kind of like long-term knowledge or like learning, it just doesn't happen as easily as it did before.
I think over time I've moved away from for knowing huge ranges, and I just narrowed it down to how do I like to paint my red. I like to paint my red with a dark sort of burnt red kind of thing and a bright red, and so I'll work with whatever.
Yeah, it's more of a procedure instead of specific colors.
Yeah, rather than a recipe
application. Yeah, recipe. Yeah, some
like it's cooking on the stove top rather than baking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if you guys are familiar with. I think they're out of Poland. There's a range called. It's either called War Paint or like War Colors or something. And Adam Pratt, another friend of the show, was talking about how basically all they did was they redid the old GW Winsor Newton line. Like that's all it is. It's the same color. So if you wanted like Goblin Green or Scorched Earth or any of those, like it's the same colors. And wasn't there a Scorched Earth though?
No.
It might have been there might have been a Scorched Earth like texture paint.
Scorched Earth is a military strategy.
Right.
It is. Yes.
Brown is the color that we're talking
about. It definitely sounds like a color. I mean, so anyways, so they have it all, and Adam got a whole set of it and he loves it. And then some other guy put up a like a chart. So if you buy the three primary colors, so if you buy like basically a medium blue, a medium red, a medium yellow, a black, and a white, he'll teach you how to make every color. So it's like, oh, I want to make what was the really dark blue I used to love? Storm, I think it's Storm Blue.
Okay.
And so like you want to make like Bilious Green or Scorpion Green, like he'll tell you what to add to make that color. And I was like, that's like, this guy has way too much time on his hands. So it's like, oh, if you want to make it, it's 1 dot of this, 1 dot of this, 2 dots of this. And then you mix it. You're like, oh, cool. That's the color. And I was like, we tried it out. It's crazy. So you can make the whole old range. It's nuts.
Cool.
Like the Blood Angels orange, like you can make that. Like I was like, that's pretty neat.
The only thing I don't understand about GW paints is why they just don't switch to Trapper bottles.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They just like to be different.
Yeah, absolutely. I still use their paints. I've gotten to the point that I'll use on every model. I used to be a strictly Games Workshop, but now there may be Games Workshop model color scale 75 and some Turbo Dork on every model. I just kind of whatever effect I want. So
yeah, excellent. Jed says in the thing he was chucking some brown dye on some armor that he was working on for the Willow series. And one of the lasses wandered past and said, "That's a nice dark green." The dye had reacted with the leather in an odd way. Cue me chucking on red. There we go. And Joe says it's because at some point they purchased an infrastructure that included millions of bottles in specific racks. Anyway, moving right along.
Let's see how many hundreds of models you've done since the last time we got together, Dave.
Okay. Are we ready?
Dave's like, I had a slow month, guys. I only painted another 2,500 point army.
It's nowhere near that.
Right. It's like, sorry, it's 3,600 points.
I was going to say it's about 11. But it's all almost all Gravis guys, so they're very pricey. So starting off, I've got 6 of the suppressors.
Great models,
which I'm pretty stoked about. One of the things that I found with this this color scheme, it's really Oh, sorry, what was that?
I think you echoed.
I echoed. Why have we got some echo going on? I don't know.
I shut my mic off a couple of times to make sure it wasn't feedback from mine, and it didn't make a change. It still was doing it. So
Okay.
my Yeti sometimes will pick up sound that it shouldn't be.
Yeah. Excellent. But no, this getting the base gray done is super quick, which is great. So I slap on some deep sea Ben. I've got some neutral gray that I do there's a mix in between the deep sea Ben and neutral gray, and then the neutral gray is the bulk of the color, and then a bit of mixing in some the light gray from Vallejo as the highlight. I'm also
did you hand stipple your knee stripes, or did you use a sponge?
So with the knee stripes, I paint the base color first, that base green.
Yep.
Then I paint the stripe on with like light gray, and then highlight it with white, and then I paint the scratches back on with the dark green.
But you did it by hand, or you used like a sponge or stipple?
No, by hand. Yeah, just little lines. But one of the things I'm doing a lot more with this army is, particularly on the infantry, is my highlighting is a little bit more scratchy. So rather than trying to get nice, smooth layering built up, that kind of thing, I'm just doing lots of little scratches and bits and pieces to give the texture and the color, and it's a little bit more of a painterly approach. And Joe says, "Oh, just by hand, like it ain't nothing. Just practice it. Practice."
Jez wants to see a paint off between you and Ash.
That'd be cool.
We can make it happen for next year. Ash is a friend of the show. He'll do it.
Yep, we'll definitely we'll have to talk about it with him for sure.
Your leader, is it just the lighting that you used, or is he like purpley?
I've gone with I decided to mess around with the skin tones in this army. So all of my guys without helmets have like a purplish tone, purple through to a gray, and then a little bit of an ivory in it.
That seems like heresy. Like it could be.
I'm not sure it is, but it could be. But yeah, I'll come up with some lore reason why.
They eat a lot of krill. They're like flamingos. They're pink because they eat so much krill. Like they're on an ocean world.
That's good. Yeah, they are. They're definitely it's an ocean world. A lot of volcanic islands, that kind of thing.
And they eat a lot of shrimp.
Yeah, they do. That's it. There we go. You heard it here first.
They're all very acrobatic too, all pirouetting on those little points of rock.
They are.
If they were skilled, they'd be like mine and be able to do that on blades of grass.
Blades of grass.
Practical junk.
Yeah.
Yep. Indeed. It's kind of funny because the guy in the middle at the back, he's the tallest because he's on a column, like one of the GW terrain piece columns, and I had him he was built like years ago, and it was going to do a kill team with the guys back when your kill team could be a variety of different models, rather than it all had to be Reavers or all had to be Scouts or whatever. So yeah, but of course I have since used the rest of those columns on my Chaos Knights on their bases. So yeah, just a little bit different. But anyway, so that's those guys. I also did some Eradicators.
I love the helmet with that face.
Yeah,
it's really good.
It's super clean.
Yeah, it just really it switches up that. It steps them away from that standard sort of Primaris look.
Yeah. It also gives it a very menacing look. Like, if that unit gets within a certain distance, you got to make a battle shock test.
Yeah, for sure.
There's all these things coming at you with this weird head. So
yep.
I mean, it's more the fact that it's 6 giant dudes with melter guns. Like that's like
maybe the faceplate is to distract you from the fact you're facing down the melter guns.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure. But no, Joe, they are third-party helmets. They're, I think, I can't remember exactly the name of the creator, but I got
Puppet War.
Pardon?
Are those from Puppet War?
No, it was a 3D file, either from either found it on Cults or My Mini Factory. I'll do a post in the group. I'll probably have to do it a couple of times, but I'll call out the creators. But yeah, I just bought the file and I've printed dozens and dozens of these helmets. But they are very cool. I wanted that sort of faceless feel. But it's also somewhere I can put that final pop of the light color. So obviously the gray is the mid tone. You got that black is the dark tone. Black's probably 20% of the model. 70% is gray, and then that final sort of 10% of the white.
What gray are you using? Because they look really bluish.
Oh, it's that deep sea Ben is the undertone for it.
Okay.
So that's like a dark green, bluish green.
Nice.
They look really good.
Yeah, I like them. They look awesome, Dave.
So with the eradicators there, 6 eradicators. These are my heavy intercessors. And again, that sergeant there with the purplish gray skin.
You can almost see the Mind Flayer tentacle coming out of his mask. Like,
yeah. This guy's kind of the closest to the Gene Stealer cult. But
yeah, the only thing I was looking at real close, I'm like, does he have forehead ridges? No, he doesn't. Okay, we're okay.
No, he's in rehab. He's coming back from it.
Someone needs to turn his respirator on because he's turning blue. He can't breathe.
Yeah.
He's breathing water, Jeff. He's just.
That's okay. That's what it is.
They're all Atlanteans.
Yeah.
These guys were kind of funny because what I've done, I mentioned at the start, I bought a whole bunch of models from my friend Thomas, and in the boxes there were a bunch of sprues that had, like, they were essentially the leftovers from a heavy intercessor kit. So there are a couple of body pieces and a bunch of different arms, but there weren't a whole lot of bodies for it. So I was like, okay, maybe I won't do any heavy intercessors. And then when I got hold of the what do you call them, the Space Marine Heroes set,
Yep,
like the blue plastic, in there's a heavy intercessor with the heavy bolter. So it's like, okay, well, now I've got this one guy, I've got to make the other 4. So I think I went onto eBay and bought like a sort of cheap squad of 3. Cheap squad of 4 eradicators. And because I already had 6 eradicators, I didn't need more eradicators, so I was able to just rip the arms off and replace them with the heavy intercessor arms that were left over on this other sprue. So these are kind of my budget heavy intercessors.
Joe said, did you do non-metallic metallic on the barrels, or is that just the way the light's catching it?
Just the way the light's catching it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all. I don't do non-metallic metals, mainly because across an army it's a huge undertaking that I just couldn't handle. But yeah, I do like my shiny silvers. Where's my shining silver from the Army Painter?
Yeah, that's a good one.
There's a highlight there. So I've got those guys done. Here's my first. These are my 6 plasma armed Inceptors. I really love the big sort of faceplate.
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That's the re-entry blast shield.
Yeah. I like to think of it's the blast shield that protects their faces from exploding plasma. But again, originally I painted the fronts of those in just black helmets, but it just got lost. So putting that bone stripe through the middle was important as well.
Yeah, I think that looks good. I like the pink plasma glow too. That looks cool in the schemes.
Yeah, I just wanted something different again. Having a blue or a green wasn't really going to work. I probably could have gone for an orange, but I felt that sort of magenta.
No, I think that color works perfectly with the armor color and everything else on the base. I think it actually works.
It makes them look extra Gene Stealer culty.
Yeah,
it's a lot of purple going on.
I have to take
all praise the 4-armed emperor. I mean,
I had enough of the faceplates on my Votan. I didn't. My intercessors don't have anything. Like they're just all helmetless. So like, nah, we're not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
Dave, do you do anything to mark out your sergeants?
Not really, because at the moment, like sergeants aren't hugely in a lot of the Space Marine squads. Sergeants aren't hugely important or different. So, in this one, if I wanted to split this into 2 squads of 3, then the guys with the exposed faces would be the sergeants because
Nice.
they're the least sensible. But yeah, generally not too much. I wasn't planning on it. Some of them will just become a bit more obvious. In my when we come back to the full screen, I'll show you one of the guys that I'm about to be working on. I gave him a little it's for the, what do you call them? Stone Guard veterans, so he gets the little Crux Terminatus at the back on his backpack.
Nice.
So I've done that. But yeah, then oh sorry. Nope. Next up, I've got 3 Inceptors with the assault bolters. And you can start to see on those on the chest plates there where I remove the eagles.
Yeah.
There's that sort of that little scratchy kind of look.
Are you gonna put like transfers or something there to eat up that space?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Just going for that.
I like that look. It actually looks really good.
Yeah. I like it. I haven't gone through and I didn't go through and do it on the entire army. Mainly because it would have been painful and would have taken a lot of time. Yeah, I just figure that some of them have it, some of them don't.
How do you go? Because I'll do that a lot with mostly on shields. I'll pull off all the raised areas. How do you go about cleaning those up and getting those off there?
Essentially, most of that's, well, I think almost all of it's done with a knife. Just start carving at the side, catch the underside of the wings, and sort of push across. And
just pull off that. That's how I do. I just didn't know if you knew something that had a different way. It does get tedious and time consuming.
Tedious and time consuming, and hurts the thumb after a while.
Good old Crocodile Dave.
Yep, that's not a knife.
I have discovered on those, if you do it before you assemble them, the God snips are really good at being able to just kind of shave those areas off as well.
Right. Yep. One of the other things that I do occasionally, if I think about it, is I'll slice the skull off first,
right,
from the center, and then put that aside, and then you can use that. You can place that somewhere else on or on a different.
I like Joe's nickname, Old Dave by Hand Taylor.
Yep, do it all by hand for sure. But yeah, so they're all good. What are they called? Aggressors.
Yep.
The aggressors at the front there. I wanted to go with the flamers. I just love that sort of feel. And one of the things I really liked about the aggressors on the sprue, there's one pair of gauntlets where the flamer is basically retracted, so he's ready to punch things and not break his flamers off.
Yeah, the guy in the middle.
Yeah.
I still think like their rules are so insane. So you take a unit of 5 aggressors, you give them all flamestorm cannons, and you put the Gravis apothecary with them, and you just park them on an objective, and they will never die.
Right. Yep. Definitely good.
It's like you can't charge them, because if you do, the whole unit gets to double flame you and auto hit. And if you happen to somehow get there, they all have power fists. So they're just going to kill whatever got to them.
And they're all up to 6 with 3 wounds.
It's insane. And then if you manage to do enough firepower to kill one of them, at the end of the turn, the apothecary is just like, he's back.
Well, I don't think the Gravis apothecary has that same rule. He doesn't have the regular apothecary rule. So he has a different one. I think he gives the models lethal hits.
You can't put the regular one with those guys, right? He's not an option,
unfortunately. Yeah. But
the helmets, I like the helmets got the really good definition there as far as, they look really good.
Yeah. Yep. You can see the regular Inceptor helmets on the back. There were those guys. Yeah. That's because I got those models already assembled. So It's a real pain in the butt to pull those helmets out. But yeah, so I think that might be it. Oh no, cool. That was the other thing I was going to show. So here's a picture of a whole bunch of nameplates upside down. Awesome. These are from Versatile Terrain. You can either buy them. Basically, you place an order, you type in the names that you want on the nameplates, you pick your styles, all that sort of stuff. And you can either like order a physical product that'll ship, and I think these ones for 40 mil rounds are like £3.50, something like that. Or now he offers a service where you can order the STL. So you type in the name, he sorts out the file, sends you the STL for it, and that's only £1. So
that's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I was able to print was it 15 on this plate? I think I ordered 16, and now I've realized I probably need another 4 or 5 because there are more characters. I'm only doing it for the characters as well, so but there is more characters multiplying.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, and that's a picture I threw up on Instagram.
Would you mind after the show sending me the link for that? Because I may do some of those, not for this time, but for future projects.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely.
Because I don't have a 3D printer, but my buddy in Arizona does, and I'm sure I can convince him to print some.
Yeah. No, definitely. I used these on my Chaos Nights as well a couple of years ago, and yeah, absolutely awesome. And Keith that runs Versatile Terrain is such a nice guy and super on the ball with customer service questions and everything.
I like that his name. I like your apothecary's name is Alfhall Bone Mender. That's great.
Yeah. Yep. Amusingly enough, for my Gravis apothecary, the apothecary biologist is Magnus Ransacker. I can't remember what. So that Ransacker is the Icelandic word, and I can't remember what the English version of that is.
Here, good news. I have Google Translate.
Yep. So give it a go. It's Rannnsaka.
Spell it again.
Rannnsaka.
Those are awesome.
I may have bastardized it as well, but
yeah, looking sweet, dude. Good progress, man. Jeez, you cranked out a bunch of stuff. Made me feeling so bad that I started painting.
I'm glad that you're working on those now.
Yeah.
You said Rannisik?
No, there's no I.
All right, Rann.
It's my accent that's confusing you. Rannnsaka.
It means investigate.
Investigate. There we go.
You've lived in Baltimore long enough. You should have lost that accent a long time ago.
No. It's never going to pick up the Baltimore accent. But yeah, I also like the idea that the Ransacker is like ransack, which is kind of a Viking kind of feel.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, it means to investigate. That's great. It's perfect for a biologist, so that must be why I did it. So there we go. So cool. Okay. And next up for me is the veterans. So I'm working on some Terminators.
Those models are so much fun to paint.
They are. They're great.
Oh yeah, they're on my list. I want to paint them big time.
So I'm just gonna switch to this one for a sec.
Oh, yeah, I like it. I like the Power Fist a lot. That looks cool.
So I'm messing with something a little bit different as well. For the Terminators, I'm going for that the green. So the same green as the knee pads, and just going for that on the that armor plate on the fists, but also rather for the central torso.
It's all black.
The upper torso, I've gone all black rather than the gray. And so on the stern guard, for example, I'll do the torsos in their usual gray, but on the backpacks, I'll do that panel across the top in black, and the two plates on top of those little the ball vents. I'll do those in black as well. So it'll just have that different.
You could do the disc plate that's on the backpack. You could do that in that green also.
I'm going to do those in. I've been doing those in the bronze color.
What I'm saying, if they're veterans, like so the Vanguard, so the stern guard vets are different than everybody else.
Yeah. I know. I'll have a look at it. I'll check it out. But yeah, so mess around with that. So I've got those. So 10 stern guard, 5 terminators, 6 blade guard, and then there are 6 characters that are either blade guard characters or terminator characters. So that's the next batch. So I'll try and have those done for the next time we meet.
Nice. How many points are you up to now? Have you kept track?
No, I have not kept track. It's probably
17,000.
No. It's probably around 28, 29.
So for Dave's challenge, Dave is building 2,000 points for each of us.
I know. It sounds like it. Holy moly.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things where I think it'd be super cool that at the end that somebody could go, okay, well, I'm going to select this 2,000 point army, and then somebody else will come along and go, okay, well, I'm going to take this 2,000 point army, and then somebody can make another 2,000 point army that are all playable. Which would be
Yeah. When we go to Adepticon, it's going to be me, Jeff, and John against Dave's 6,000 point army.
Probably.
Yeah. I better get some more stuff for taking on wolves and enormous knights. Might need some more. Cool. Okay, I think we are now moving into the checking out models from the community.
Yeah, what do we got? What do we got?
That?
There's a lot of good stuff.
We do have a lot of good stuff. We've got a bunch. So first up, we have so Aaron Provost finished up. He started this, or he sort of dug the model out when Darren Latham was running his 90s Space Marine Challenge.
Oh, cool.
Ago. So he painted this up as.
I've painted so many of this Marine.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think we all have. I think we've all painted hundreds of this Marine.
Yes.
Just about every painting tutorial at a certain point started with that model.
Yep. But no, I think Aaron's done a great job here. Just nice sort of fun, painterly sort of chipped and damaged. But I'm really loving that snake.
Yeah, the Iron Snakes.
Yeah, he did both. That's cool.
Yep.
Did they ever do any other novels with that chapter? I remember there was one. But
they appear in the they appear in the Magister and I can't remember the other name, but yeah, there's a 2-book sort of thing by Matthew Farah that's set in the Sabbat worlds.
Okay.
And they appear there.
The Urdesh books?
Are they? The 2.
I don't know if that's what you're thinking of. Hang on.
It could be. There are 2 of them anyway. But yeah, I think one of them is called like the Serpent and the Saint, and the other's the Martyr and the Murderer or something. But the funny thing about one of those is that it has a picture of an Iron Stake in Primaris armor on the cover. But the book is set, of course, like 500 years before Primaris showed up. So I was really torn as to whether I should do these guys as a Primaris chapter. But yeah. As Joe says, their planet has an emergency. They call for help from the chapter. Chapter deems 1 Marine as sufficient. Yeah. But yeah, looking good. Nice work, Aaron.
Yeah, it looks cool. I like that battle damage on there.
Yeah. Andrew Shaffer has been working on some Dark Angels. Popped in the Storm Speeder.
I love the. You know how I know they're Dark Angels?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So like,
yeah, hoods up, guys.
They're all wearing hoodies. Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
the Dark Angels don't like rain, so they all wear hooded rain slickers. All of them.
They do.
Andrew Shaffer is down with the Goblin Green base rim. Like
He
that.
is. Yeah,
Keeping it classic.
definitely check that out.
I love that miniature too. That Phobos librarian guy. He's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be my favorite librarian. I think he
Yeah,
looks
he's
great.
so good.
Yeah.
He's sweet.
He's neat. Definitely good. Matt says, yeah, the Starbuck Wars. That's why I was thinking about it was Dan Abnett. Dan Abnett did write the original
Yeah, the Iron Snakes.
book. But yeah, Matthew Farah wrote these.
Someone must have had a premonition of our conversation. All the bases are green.
Yeah, exactly. Next up is Brandon Nutting posted a bunch of his Leviathan.
Leviathan's Dread.
Leviathan's Dread.
He brought these into the store last night for
Bless you.
Monday is Space Slam, so everybody comes in and plays like 40K and sci-fi stuff, and he brought in his army and got a game in, and they look great. Like they look awesome. He's
Very cool.
Brandon's really good at like cranking stuff out. Like he's been like working through this army for a while now, so they look awesome.
What color is that?
It's like a deep like purpley magenta is like their arms and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they have almost like a Celestra gray is their like gray color. And then the main body armor is like black. And then he has some green highlights and notes.
That's awesome.
Did he play against there's a girl called on Instagram, she's Alessandra, plays 40K.
I don't know, maybe.
Has a yeah, I think he might have. I follow her on Instagram and I think I saw these pop up in her post yesterday. But yeah, they look quite cool. Let me that's one of the
great.
That's a Brutalis Dread.
Yeah, absolutely awesome.
I like those little pops of color and how they're kind of similar to the purple he has in the red. I think it's just a nice little accent.
Yeah, those tufts are insane. It's like they're fighting on the bottom of the ocean. They all look like sea anemones. I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yep. And I like that all of the models. So I've just gone for the characters for those nameplates.
Yeah, he has everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
The only model that doesn't have the nameplate is he has a Vindicare Assassin.
All right. Yep.
That doesn't, and I was giving him a hard time. I was like, what about poor Steve? Like Steve just doesn't get one.
Yep. Excellent. Sorry. Jim says yes. Brandon has played against her before. Cool.
Okay.
Excellent. And Scott says, look at this fancy name showing stuff.
I love the gore.
Big custom.
The gore stringing off the claws on the Brutala on the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's well done.
Really looking good there. Yep. Nice one. Oh, and I love that I guess that's the chapter symbol. Is that sword through the tyranny?
No, so their symbol is the if you go back one slide, their symbol is like the Davy Jones skull.
Oh, okay. Radio.
Which I think is off one of the night things or one of the.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Maybe one of the Chaos Knights.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But I think he got like sheets of them made, but they look awesome.
Yeah, they look fantastic.
But yeah, their secondary symbol is the inverted or the sideways Gene Seer cult symbol with the sword through it.
Yeah, that's funny.
Matthew says the assassin's name has been redacted.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Speaking of assassins, there it is. So yeah, this is the Umbral 6 operative. Very cool.
That's a nice
cool.
model.
Yeah. That guy's great.
Nice work there, Brendan.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah, cool verdigris on the statue. That looks really well done.
Yeah.
That thing looks huge until you see it on the table with like all of his dreadnoughts and all the Primaris Marines, and then you're like, oh, he's really not that big. Like,
It still looks great though.
yeah, no, it's an awesome model.
It does look awesome. Very cool. Nice one. Chris Kemig. Chris has finished his squad of 10 Breacher Wardens for his Imperial Fists.
Oh, come on. Where's what's his name? Not Space Wolf guy.
Not Space Wolf guy. I mean, not Fafnir Ran.
Yeah, Fafnir Ran.
I'm sure he has him.
Like, I mean, I feel like he should be leading this unit.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's probably just off to the right. Like they're just doing drills at the moment.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing those in person at Adepticon.
He's off to the side cutting up orange slices for all these guys.
Exactly. But yeah, look at all those power axes and power hammers. It's brutal. Excellent. Next up, Dave Powell's painted up this OG
Escher Juve.
Escher Juve.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Fantastic for his Escher gang, the Stygian Witches.
Nice.
Very nice.
Super cool. Yeah, this one was my favorite. I think this might be my favorite Escher model of all time.
Oh yeah, that was cool. I like the plasma gunner the most.
Oh,
from
from
that
the
same era, the Jez Goodwin plasma gunner is very, very cool.
Yeah,
it's my favorite.
I just love this one. This one's just so tank girl.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
I haven't watched that movie in years.
With the revolver that's the size of her torso, yeah, it's kind of insane.
Yeah,
exactly.
He found Hellboy's gun.
Yeah.
And I think Joe might be able to correct me or not, but I think in the background that's some of the Death Ray Designs vault walls.
The thing in the foreground definitely is one of their little capsule things. I've painted a couple of those.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. Looking good. Nice work, Dave. Christian Simonson. Christian painted showed off a few things. And Joe says that's some DRD terrain for sure. Joe says, I'm a terrible aim, but this fires really big bullets. Awesome. But yeah, Christian's done some more wonderful work. This is on a Chaos Force that he's been working on. I think
these look so good. I was telling him, I think what I like about these guys a lot is the fact that they're Plague Marines, but they're like red and rusty instead of being like green. And I was like, it's so different. Like I really dig it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the not the chaplain. It's
the Judiciary.
Yeah, it's the Judiciary conversion. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, looks super cool. Nice work there, Christian. That looks great. And I think the background or the board that it's on was one that was done by Jonathan Hartman, who's Shibboleth on Instagram. He did a whole sort of boarding actions table years ago called the Sotho 212.
Nice.
Yeah, looks great. I'm going to pull this one out because it's an awesome bust that Christian worked on. I think this is from Abyssal Miniatures.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. That looks really great.
Yeah, Christian's awesome. His stuff is so good.
Yep. I love that underlighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really sells it, doesn't it?
Yeah. And painting
the modeling on his face is super cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that as well.
Yeah.
That eye on his chest plate looks real.
Yeah.
I need to spend some more time painting busts and larger things like that. It looks like a lot of fun.
Move back and forth like that, and the eye follows you. It's great.
It does.
But yeah, beautiful work.
Never mind. I don't like this. Get rid of this picture.
Okay. We'll move on to this one, which is his conversion of Gutrot Spume.
Such a great model. That is that's one of my favorite GW models. Gutrot Spume is just awesome.
He's great.
Yep.
Did he add extra tentacles?
I don't think so. But he definitely he replaced the head. It's a different head.
That would be the first thing I think of. This model needs more tentacles.
Yeah.
You know what this model needs?
More tentacles. Well, it does have a lovely floating Nurgling down there, which is
awesome. It's his Nurgling's Day at the beach.
Yep. Yeah, it is a big axe, Sean. It's huge. But it looks lovely. Nice work.
That's like an Adrian Smith scale axe.
Yeah, for sure. Looks great. It does look a bit snotty.
Ridiculous.
Nice one. Excellent. Next up. Oh, Sean posted a
It's
picture
Castle
of his.
Grayskull.
What's that?
It's Castle Grayskull.
Castle Grayskull. It is.
Yeah.
Is true. But yeah, Sean's messing around with some sort of forced perspective painting there. So that the panel at the back of the mouth there is flat or slightly curved. But he's painted it so that it looks like you could walk further into the whatever's in the middle of Castle Grayskull.
That's good.
Very nice.
But yeah, I love the purple in the eyes. That's my favorite part.
That's so cool.
Yep.
I believe that's the sword of power that's in the background there. You'd have to go get.
It could be. Thank you.
Or an oncoming train.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Just to switch back to this for a second, Josh says, "Do these tentacles make my axe look big?" Yes, they do. And then we've got some Legion Imperialis from Jan. Jan, what do you say, Jeff?
I said I'm blown away by the detail because they're just phenomenal. These look great, but the detail they put in these models is just phenomenal.
Yeah, they're super nice.
It is absolutely incredible. But Jan's
I
been
urge not to play that game. That looks really cool, but I don't know if I have the time for it.
Yep, I'm also fighting that urge.
Yeah. Right now it's easy because like it's super hard to get your hands on stuff.
I see.
And until they like restock everything, I'm gonna wait and see how the dust kind of settles. But like I already own a ton of Titanicus and I love the Titan stuff. So
yeah.
I picked up the Thunderhawk. Oh my god, it's gorgeous.
Yeah,
absolutely beautiful.
I keep telling everybody I when I play games and I want to use a Thunderhawk, I bought a collapsible car antenna thing, and I have a base, and then I just extend the antenna, and the Thunderhawk is up there, and I'm like, he's way up there.
Yep, you can't see him.
Yeah, I'm not buying a Forge World Thunderhawk.
But no, I love that. In the like, if you're looking at the tanks or the flyers, the Titans and the Knights and that sort of thing, it's like if you paint them really well. It's like I don't know if I'm looking at a 8mm scale model or what the.
Yeah, that could very easily be a full scale Layman Russ right there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. It's gonna. I mean, I'm actually either going to do White Scars or Salamanders with mine, and the detail is just phenomenal.
Joe, they are they're 8mm scale rather than the original 6. Yeah. So, but yeah, nice. Jan has two. I just saw a picture this evening where he has two halves of the two of the Solar Auxilia halves of the box set assembled and cleaned up and ready to go. But yeah, looking really good. Awesome.
Good stuff.
So I think that brings us to the end of another episode.
We've done it.
Nice. And we did it. In under 2 hours, we did it.
But we got to be quick. We've only got. We can't let this conclusion be like 7 minutes long.
5.5 minutes ago.
Yep. Awesome. So
I need to, Scott. You're absolutely correct. I would love to see that happen. He wants me to get Battlefront to do a weird Flames of War.
All right.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That'd be good. Sorry, when I switched over so that I could put messed around with some things, I missed it. Cool. Excellent. Yes. So what do I need to say? I need to say thank you very much, Jeff and John, for
my pleasure. Absolutely. Had a ball.
I'm getting there, Jake. I'm getting there. No, that's the next thing. Yes, thank you very much for sending through your photos and talking to us about the stages of the project you're on. Where are you going to next? Jake, could you not get your puppy to?
She doesn't want to jump. Come here.
There's a pug. You have to lift her.
Yeah.
No, this is the other one.
Oh, okay. My bad.
This is the Space Dingo.
Space Dingo. There we go. Hey, Space Dingo. Awesome. But no, super cool. Thanks very much, guys, for joining us. Thank you also to the Army Painter for sponsoring us. As Jake has mentioned, we will hopefully have Kat and Adam on very soon. One thing I did want to mention is that Games Workshop, I think today, announced that they were taking nominations again after a 4-year break. They're taking nominations again for the Warhammer Heroes. I'm going to put Kat Jackson down. We're going to nominate Kat for Hobby Hero for all the wonderful work she does supporting people and making people feel awesome about their hobby. So make sure you head there and nominate your favorite hobby hero. It could be somebody local. It could be Kat Jackson. Just saying.
Cool. I'm glad they're doing that again. I always thought that was a cool thing.
Yeah, definitely cool. It's nice to acknowledge folks who are doing those
100%
wonderful things. But yeah, so definitely check that out. And thank you everybody for stopping by and checking out the show. I think it was cool. I think it was, again, very interesting running it on StreamYard. So we'll find out how that goes. And very annoying for me that this bit didn't work. So I had to take everything in faith. But it looks like it's all gone quite well. One thing I will say to everybody who's on the screen at the moment, hang around while we go through, we play our outro, and then we'll have a chat in the studio after the stream has ended about when we will reconvene for our next meeting in January. So is there anything else, Jake, that I've missed?
I mean, as always, thank everybody for being here. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, John. Thank you to everybody who tuned in and threw questions. And we love talking to everybody and like giving our feedback and answering questions whenever we can. I hope everybody has a safe holiday. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you are into. I hope your New Year goes great, and we will see you guys in a couple weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yes, I think we're gonna have we won't be here next week, even though it'll be Boxing Day, because my wife's aunt has switched the days that we're going to her place for the big family gathering. It's not Christmas Day; it'll be Boxing Day. So
nice.
But yeah, we'll let you know.
Everybody, take care. We will see you guys soon. Dave, we all set?
We are not all set because I am crazy. That's why. So thank you very much, everybody. We will see you next time.
Shut up and sit down.